Nice. Some epic music to do this to. Good morning. It's Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when you are watching this and whether you're A or B group. This is going to be a little explanation breakdown of my classroom procedures and or expectations. Of course, this is brought to you by Mr. Mean and Evil, also known as, or aka, Mr. Hlinak. Music's becoming epic. So, quick reminders, as you watch this video, you are taking notes on these very categories because guess what? You might see something tomorrow when you have me in class again that you may need this for, specifically your notes for. Here we go. First thing, as a general reminder before I actually jump into this, if at any point I am going very fast for you and your poor hand cannot keep up, or your poor fingers cannot type fast enough, don't be afraid to pause this here video so you can get down some main ideas. With that note, and the music ramps up, here we go. First thing, the start of class. As I walk into your class, just say hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever. One thing I ask for you to do is be at your desk or in your seat. One of those two things will be very, very helpful. If you have happened to maybe have just stood up at your seat because you needed a little quick break, hey, that's cool. I'm not going to be mad at you for that. Just make sure you're not wandering the room and then take a seat. Second thing you could do is have your agenda out and ready. Sometimes I have something to tell you right away at the start of class for you to write down. And then you can have all materials needed, such as dramatic music, your notebook, pen or pencil, and possibly any work for that day. Let's say we were working on some assignment the day before, or while you're right now, like you're at home, maybe you had something you worked on that you need to bring in. Boom, there you go. Or maybe there's a study guide due, maybe there's vocab. There could be all sorts of things that possibly you may need to have out or open on your Chromebook if that were to apply. Song change. Moving on to our second point, flip charts. Those who are in 7th and 8th grade, this will be familiar to you. For my 6th graders, the really important thing here is flip charts are really going to highlight important upcoming due dates. Specifically, let's say we have a vocab quiz. It's going to tell you a specific date. Now, if you were to look at a flip chart, it would look something like this. This happened to actually be from earlier this last school year. So, here would be an example. So let's say it's Tuesday the 28th. This is before, well, the coronavirus got really big, right? So we actually had a journal question about the coronavirus. And as you see here in the middle, their homework, or more importantly, a really important date, is that a vocab quiz was coming up on that Thursday. So this is something right here in purple is what you would write into your agenda. Not only could you see it here and then write it, but I will also share and tell you about this here important date. So keep those things in mind. And also, if you're not sure what to have out on your desk, well, down here at the bottom, the do now is going to list things to have out. So keep all of those things in mind. All right, shifting back to our little sheet. Flip charts, boom. Next thing, what is Give Me 5? Some of you may have forgot, so let me give you a reminder. I believe I told both 6th grade classes about this too, but here's a visual aid for you. Dramatic music. Okay, so Give Me 5. What does it mean? Well, you're gonna see me do my hand, such as though with 5, like a high five. I don't need a high five though. Keep that 6 feet distance, coronavirus, remember. But the 5 things you should be doing when I ask you to give me 5, I'm gonna hold my hand up in the air like I'm raising my hand. And first thing is hands-free, meaning if you're writing, if you're opening a book, if you're opening your Chromebook, stop what you're doing. Listening, well, you should stop listening to a neighbor or listening to something else, like headphones, take headphones out, and listen to what I'm about to say. Third, be quiet, so stop talking. Hold back urges to shout anything out. Fourth thing is to then look at who's speaking. Maybe it's not me, maybe it's Mrs. Nolberg. And then the last thing is to be still, because remember, movements can be distracting for some people that need to hear something really, really important. So when I say give me 5, generally, there's something really, really important. So keep that in mind. Moving back to our 4th point. Again, don't be afraid to pause if this is going too fast for you. 4th point, bathrooms. You've already heard about the sign out the clipboard outside of our rooms. Remember to always sign out on the clipboard, put the date, put the time, and this is important because we talked about this, just to make sure we know who was where and when to be safe. Second thing about bathrooms for my room in particular, I have a signal for the bathroom. And whenever I want you to signal for the bathroom, I want it to look something like this. You ready? I got my sweet gamer headphones on. You ready? Super sweet gamer headphones. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here comes the signal for the bathroom. You just gotta do that. It's that easy. You don't need to be like, you can just do that. I'm gonna know, oh, that's a weird thumb thing. Brian needs to go to the bathroom. And I'm just gonna point and go, you're good. I'll probably even say, hey, don't forget to sign up the clipboard. Hey, gamer headphones. Sweet. Moving on. Chromebook use. Here are some ways not to get a warning in class under that arch agreement that you were taught about from Mrs. Brinkley. First thing with your Chromebook. Hey, if you have random sounds coming out, such as a cow mooing, or any other noises, I've heard them all, that would count towards a warning. Just keep that in mind. Secondly, music. Music is amazing when you are working. We don't want to hear your music. If we do, we will ask you to play it out loud. Usually, I will not ask you to play it out loud. I will have my own fabulous music, such as what you're hearing now. Third thing, if you're distracted by your Chromebook, such as staring off into the void of YouTube, or trying to play some miscellaneous games, those are all ways in which you can get a warning in class. Keep that in mind. It's not all doom and gloom though. Here are some ways in which, I believe, lies correct ways to use the Chromebook. Firstly, just have it closed at the start of my class. When I walk in, if you're on it, that's cool. Just close it. Secondly, if you don't have headphones, just keep your Chromebook muted. And the mute button looks like a little speaker with a little slash through it. Want to know what that looks like? Well, here, give me 20 seconds to pull up a picture on Google for you. Mute button. If you're not really sure what it looks like, you can even Google it right now. But in particular, the mute button we are talking about would look like so. Here is what your mute button would look like on your computer. It's just a little slashy. I don't think it has the wavy doodads, but mute button. Have your Chromebook muted, especially when you don't have headphones. Because that way, we don't need to worry about miscellaneous noises, and you will be safe. Our next category, category 6, uniforms. This applies across the board, but here's another way that you could get an arch infraction even in my class. Imagine that. Good example, having your t-shirt tucked in. Having it tucked in correctly, you're good. Make sure you have a QAS school-approved sweatshirt. Unfortunately, those nice pullovers from the baseball team don't count as one of our school-approved sweatshirts, so keep that in mind. And another one, and the new one of the year, wearing masks correctly. So if you have gotten repeated reminders to wear your mask correctly in my class, you're going to end up getting a warning for not wearing it correctly. So keep that in mind. This music's so soothing. 7, class participation. Please don't shout out in my class. It's really not this hard to raise your hand patiently. I do want to hear what you're going to say, and I will call on you unless we literally have like no time left in class, which generally is, guess what? At the very end of class. So that's not going to happen all the time. And huge, be respectful to others, including making comments about what maybe someone else said or someone else did or what someone else wrote or how someone else wrote or maybe what someone put on a slideshow, etc. Respect is beautiful. All of these things fall under the various parts of the arch. Accountability would be more uniform, and respect would fall for class participation. You're respecting the teacher, or you're respecting each other. Nice. Moving on to our next one, which is 3, 2, 1 here. Remember, if I'm still going very fast, you can always go back and you can still pause. Keep that in mind. Here's a big one. How to make up or retest. Well, firstly, in order to qualify for a retake, if you got back a test that is 75% C or lower, you now qualify for a retake. So, how does a retake work in not only my class, but the other classes? Well, retakes can improve your grade to the lowest grade of a person who cannot retake. Now, what does that mean? No, it doesn't mean if Timmy over here got a 20% and just doesn't want to retake it, you can't get better than that. No. What it means is, here's my example. If the lowest non-retake grade, someone who can't have a retake, is 84%, that is the best grade in which you can take, or best grade you can get, because it's only fair to that person who studied or got the 84 that you cannot then do better with a second chance. Fairness. Also, the whole point of that is to teach you to improve your studying skills, keep you accountable. So, how do you make up a test? More importantly, retake a test. Here is what you need to do. First thing, you must fill out a retest application. Now, what does that look like? For those of you in 7th and 8th grade who forgot or didn't really use this last year, here is what the retest request form looks like, or application. Boom! So, you can print one of these off yourself, and it's as easy as asking me to share it with you, or I may even post this spot on Google Classroom so it's easy to access later. And what it does, you need to print this off at home. You will first put your name on it up here, first and last. You will then put the name of the test you're going to retake, the previous percentage or grade you got on it. So let's say you got a 72% C, booyah, right here. And date of the retest, this would be something I would then tell you or inform you of. Now, important thing here, you can do this with your parents too. Summarize the reasons in which you got this score. Sometimes you had practice and you had a lot of time and you didn't manage your time well. Other times you totally forget. Other times you maybe spent just one night trying to cram studying and it didn't work. Surprise, surprise. That usually doesn't work. And next step of this application is you need 3 different activities in which you will take/do to help you study. If you need ideas, us teachers are open to help you with some ideas. For example, if you're studying vocab, you could study vocab from our notebook. You could study vocab by making flashcards, and then you could use Quizlet to help you study. Those are 3 ways right there to study for a vocab retake, for example. And the last 2 parts of our retake request form is this here. Parent signature, you need to be observed for 3 consecutive days. What does that mean? That means like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, consecutive days of the same week. And your parents need to have seen you studying, making, and working on these things, and sign as approval. And lastly, with this application, you need to put your previous test or quiz on it, and proof of those activities. That proof could be as easy as printing off results from, say, a Quizlet, or putting in a bag your flashcards, or maybe scanning a picture of your vocab words in your notebook that you used. All of these would work. Alright, now going back to our procedures. When you retake, you are going to have 5 days in order to make up a retake. And by 5 days, for me personally, that is from whether it is posted on GradeLink as a grade, You have 5 days from that date I post it, or you have 5 days from when an email may have been home about missing work. And, as I said there on that retake application, you must study 3 days before the retake minimum, and you need your parent to then sign as evidence that you actually studied. Now, if you were wondering what you need to write here, you don't need to write this whole application, nay, but these things here may be very important to have done if you need to pause. So dramatic, the music. Next part. Last thing. So epic. You can't handle the level of epicness here. Mass and social distancing. Keep in mind, to maintain 6 feet social distancing in class, keeping your mask on. Avoid constantly taking your mask up and down, up and down, up and down, and staying in your assigned seat. Those are all important things to do to keep everybody, including yourself, safe this year. Now, as a reminder, make sure you have these things written down as some notes. They may be very important tomorrow. Let me give you a visual there for those who know me. You may want those notes right here for tomorrow because they might be very important tomorrow. Alright. That is all I got for you. I will catch you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget to be awesome.